What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So things are getting serious. We are now starting to see that many people, voters, lawmakers, even governors are being fed up with what's going on in Washington. Voters are absolutely frustrated. And the reason why is because the American people want answers, and they aren't getting the answers that they need. The Biden administration is not providing the answers that either the American people or lawmakers are looking for, and that's a troubling sign. We know the Biden administration has promised many things, yet they can't get anything through. And the problem right now is that voters want another option. Let me explain. Because what's happening, and this is coming from multiple polls, multiple studies, is right now the American people are not happy with the options that we are being given. Well, one of the options, President Biden has been in office for 2 years, or almost 2 years. And some are saying that he has done very little. He's only made things worse. Yeah, he got a $1.9 trillion bill signed that provided $1,400 stimulus checks to the American people. That helped out. He gave $350 billion to state and local governments. Well, some states are helping out. Others are just sitting on that money and aren't doing a single thing. He also signed a $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill as well. But he's also not kept his promises. And this is the big issue. What were some of the promises that President Biden gave us when he was running for president, when he was campaigning? Well, one was up to $10,000 in student loan forgiveness. He hasn't done that. He's also been saying for the past year that he's going to have an answer. He even told us about 2 or 3 weeks ago he was going to have an answer. And we never got an answer. He also told us that we would know before the 4th of July weekend. Well, that came and gone. We don't have an answer. What are some of the other promises that President Biden gave us? That nobody making less than $400,000 per year would see a penny more in taxes. Mainly because, well, you can't afford it. Here's the problem. People making less than $400,000 per year are paying more in taxes, but it's coming from state taxes. It's coming from property taxes. So that promise that nobody would pay anything, any additional taxes if you make less than $400,000 per year, that is a lie. What was the other one? Oh yeah, he would give $200 per month boost to Social Security recipients. Have you heard anything about that? No, not from President Biden. We've heard about it from lawmakers. I even addressed this last night where Representative Peter DeFazio and Senator Bernie Sanders, they introduced a bill into Congress, I believe 2 weeks ago, where they want to give $200 boost every single month. That would be huge. But again, it's not coming from President Biden. Here's what we know. According to a new poll amongst Democratic voters, it says that 64% of respondents said they want a different candidate in the upcoming election. Now, why is this so important? Why is this big news? Because this is where things are getting serious. What's happening right now is lawmakers, mainly Democratic lawmakers, because obviously Republicans don't care about President Biden. Even though right now, and again, it's kind of odd, but President Biden holds a 3% lead if he were to go against former President Donald Trump. So what we are seeing is two different sides. What we are seeing is we could potentially have two new candidates. Not President Biden, because chances are nobody's going to vote for him, or he's not going to get the majority of the votes unless he goes up against former President Donald Trump. Then he may get more votes. But at the same time, according to recent reports, those are two potential candidates that voters don't want. They want two new options. So it'll be interesting. But here's the reason why this is so important. If President Biden doesn't turn things around, and doesn't turn things around quickly, then he will likely not be the next president. Okay? Not even be really, they don't even want him as a candidate for the presidency. That could be interesting. Now, recently, and this is exactly what Democratic lawmakers have been saying as well, is that if President Biden doesn't get things fixed, doesn't get things turned around, he will not be here after 2024. Now, many lawmakers are worried that if Democrats can't get their agenda passed now, for one, Biden's not going to be the man for the job, but Democrats are worried that they won't even have a job either because the American people are not going to vote for them in this upcoming midterm election. So, we're going to see what happens, but the talks amongst lawmakers is that President Biden is being too nice and he's allowing people like Senator Joe Manchin to call the shots. So again, it's a lot of back and forth right now, but as always, as we know more, I promise I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Here's what I can tell you though. Right now, and this week, we're supposed to have some movement, right? We're going to see there's supposed to be an all-senator meeting that's supposed to happen on Wednesday. Well, that could still happen, but that's not going to happen with the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer because as of last night, it was reported that he now has COVID. He has been vaccinated, he has both of his boosters, but he now has COVID. So, here's what I can tell you. What we do know is that the Senate Democrats, they do not want to wait. They want to push forward because they feel like they have some momentum, at least according to them. We know that Senator Joe Manchin and the other 49 Senate Democrats, they are going to push to get more done, right? We know this, right? But here's what I can tell you. We know that on Wednesday, they're going to push to see the Chinese competitiveness bill. They want to get this off the ground. That's the first thing that they want to do. Okay, great. We also know that Senators Joe Manchin and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, they have been working on this bill to try to increase taxes. And by increasing taxes, what that is going to do is that is actually going to allow us to extend the funding for Medicare for an additional 3 years. That could be big. So, this is all supposed to happen this week. But again, things could be somewhat delayed because of what Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer obviously has now. So, we'll see what goes on there. But here's the tricky thing. The good thing is Congress is back to work, right? They were away for 2 weeks. Now they're back. Well, they have a short window, a very, very short window, because what we know is that Congress has until August to get something done. In August, they will take their month-long summer recess. It will go on until, I believe, the first or second week of September. So, they'll be gone for an entire month. What this means is they have to get something done, and they need to do it now. But here's something else. If they wait until September when they come back, the priority in September will be the government funding bill. That will be the priority. That is something that they always struggle with. There's always delays. They do stopgap bills for weeks or months to try to continue to negotiate. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we are going to see what happens this year. So that's another thing that has to be done. We know student loan forgiveness is still something that President Biden has to do. And the student loan, the payment pause, this ends at the end of August. So by the time the payment pause ends, Congress is still going to be away at recess, which means that President Biden will be the only one that can do something at that time unless Congress decides to come back. Again, this is getting serious. This is where things are starting to really show. Are we going to see this payment pause get extended? The likelihood of it get extended is very high. Because as of right now, according to multiple reports, President Biden doesn't know if he wants to do up to $10,000 per student loan borrower. and forgive that amount of debt, because that could hurt us right now that we're seeing so much inflation. But again, we're going to know this week as well what inflation is looking like, and we will know, I believe on Wednesday, the new CPI report will come out. When it does, and I promise I will be here to explain what's going on, when this report comes out, it's either going to be good or it's going to be bad. Chances are it's going to be more bad than good. So again, make sure you stay for that as well. We also know that Congress is still calling, or many people within Congress are still calling for an additional $10 billion for COVID funding. And this would need to be passed before this fall because, according to multiple reports, we are going to see cases increase and potentially surge in the winter months. So if we don't have funding by this fall, by September, October, we could have another very infectious winter month. So we'll see what happens there. Here's the last thing. In October, the expectation is nothing will get passed. And the reason why this is the expectation is because we're going to see midterm elections in November. And if lawmakers are trying to pass a bill in October, let's say it's a last minute addition, last minute bill, this could actually hurt certain members of Congress by actually voting for or against a particular bill. So that's one of the reasons why some are saying that nothing's going to get passed in October. But this means that if we have, right now, we got the rest of July, we have really nothing in August, then we got September. That leaves us with less than 2 months to get a bill passed. The problem is the chances of it getting passed and it being a big bill are very small. So that's what we know this time. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.